this is how I'm going to look like if you met me in Saudi. I'm from Saudi Arabia, so this is how I look like in the streets there. Okay, today I'm going to talk about my country, Saudi Arabia. It's located in the southwest of Asia. Today I'm going to concentrate on education, and specifically on education and girls' education. Before Saudi Arabia was unified by King Abdulaziz in 1932, people used to be educated in local mosques. They used to go to mosques and learn how to read and write, and basic calculation skills. For girls at that time, it was more about tutoring, home tutoring. They used to be learned from their fathers, their family, how to read, and it was basically mainly to be able to read the Holy Quran. After the establishment of Saudi, King Abdulaziz started the Ministry of Education in 1938, and so they started like a reform of building schools for boys. So around 1951, there was 226 boys' schools around the country. At that time, for families, if they wanted their girls to get proper education, they had to leave the country. So I have my auntie, at that time she had 6 daughters. She had to leave her husband in Saudi and to move to Egypt for her girls to get educated. At that time, King Faisal and his wife Queen Hafsa, they really supported girls' education, and they believed in the importance of girls' education. So they started an initiative, a personal initiative in Jeddah. It was started at the beginning as an orphanage. Then they started supporting and supplying some education for girls. So in 1955, it was the first girls' school in Saudi. It's named by Dar al-Hanan in Jeddah in the western region. This is a picture taken in 1958 of one of the classes in the school. In 1960, it was the first public school for girls in Saudi. It was in Riyadh, and it was actually inside the king's palace. My mother went to the school. She describes her experience. They used to go inside the gates of the palace to go to school. At that time, it was more about the elite. So girls from the royal family, from the elite families who wanted their girls to get educated, they used to go to school. But then it started building schools for girls. Of course, at that time, educating women and girls had resistance from the society, especially from conservatives. So in 1963, there was a demonstration against girls' education that was in Buraydah, when men went out just against girls' education, because they felt that the idea of girls leaving the home and going to the mobility to go to school, it's going to disrupt the position of a woman being caring, taking care of the children and the family. So at that time, King Faisal and his wife, who really supported the education, King Faisal went to the tribal leaders and the conservative scholars to convince them of the importance of girls' education. So they made an agreement. The agreement was, for girls to get educated, it has to be from primary until university fully segregated. So girls' schools of education, it will be under the authority and control of the scholars, of the Islamic scholars. And they named it as the General Presidency of Girls' Education. And of course, King Faisal stressed for the community and the society to accept taking their girls, so that it's not compulsory. So it's up to the family. If you want to go educate your girls, if you don't want to take them to school, it's up to you. So it's not compulsory. But since then, the schools started, the country started building schools. King Faisal at that time, when they used to tell him about his views about education for girls, he would reply, "Is there anything in the Holy Quran which forbids the education of women?" He further stated, "We have no cause for argument. God enjoins learning on every Muslim man and a woman." This is a picture taken in National Geographic in 1980 of girls at Dar al-Hanan in the school. Of course, you can see there's uniforms. Actually, we look very similar there, but of course they're not wearing the abaya I'm wearing, because schools are segregated. So inside the schools, we take off their veil, we take off the abayas. And so since then, the literacy rate, it's from 1970, the literacy rate for females aged 15 to 24, it was only 2%, putting Saudi Arabia one of the lowest literacy rates in the region. In 1992, it jumped into 81%, and 2013, we're 99% literacy rate. In 2005, the world's largest scholarship programs, King Abdullah launched the largest scholarship program for both men and women, and thousands of Saudi women have earned advanced degrees from Western universities, and that's why I'm here, from this scholarship. 2013, there's 25 government universities for females, associated with 102 government teacher colleges, and addition of 27 private colleges and universities. From the 60s until now, there's a huge development. From the experience when I'm looking at only 2 generations, my older auntie, who didn't she didn't have a chance to have education, who learned how to read Quran from her father. Then my mother's generation, she attended the first girls' school in the kingdom, and for me, being here, doing my PhD and learning. I was in Saudi, I went to in school where we learned not only Arabic and religion, but also English and French. So there's a very, very big development. Of course, for us Saudi women, we still have a lot of challenges that we have to tackle. There's still a lot of development. But of course, we have to also realize the amount of effort and hard work of both men and women that enabled us to reach to where we are now. Teachers, both Saudis and non-Saudis, who came to the country for us to enable us, to teach us. Parents that at that time went against the social construct of girls being at home and took actually their daughters to school, and leaders who basically took and fought for us. So, thank you.